See if it's the same.
Oh, it's a bit bigger now. 10.5, maybe.
It is 10.5. Yeah, but if we did 2.2, that's going to give us a bit over.
Bit over, that's right.
It doesn't matter if it comes up a little bit. Someone's nicked my battery. Michael!
Well, good morning and welcome to Deering at Ourselves News. We are live at the Chateau. Good morning, Nick. Where have you come from today, Nick?
I've come from down south in France and I've come up to give Michael a hand to do a bit of work in the greenhouse.
Yes, we are going to dig out the base of the greenhouse, ready for a concrete pour this week.
It's going to be edge of your seat stuff.
Let's do it. Was that work in two parts?
It will do. So I'm just going to, that's the finish level there.
Yeah, that's the finish level
of the top of the concrete. And it's just over this way.
There you go.
Good morning, everybody. What we're doing this morning,
Pretty near, yeah.
what we're doing this morning is digging out the base of the greenhouse, ready for concrete Thursday.
That's right. And Michael said about the level. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Michael said about the level, and just as you come in the doorway, we're going to have a little drop down, and then we're going to have our concrete with a bit of stone underneath, and we're going to run a drainage channel down through the middle. So when Michael puts those lovely tomettes in, it's going to be a good job.
Let's do it.
Don't say crack on, first.
No.
So I'll just keep chipping it out.
That's solid.
That is.
Right, so Dad and Nick have gone down to the convent very briefly because the ground in here is absolutely solid. It's full of rocks. Obviously, it was compacted years ago when they put the old concrete on. And it's still solid. So obviously we need to dig it out a bit more. So they've gone to get a machine like a brrr, I don't know what it's called. They call it a kangle. I don't know what it's called, jackhammer. So they're going to get that and then they're going to break it all up. And they're also going to get, what are they going to get? It's a machine and it goes and it vibrates and it compacts the ground. Don't know what it's called, can't remember. They're going to get that too so that we can compact it. But in the meantime, all of these bricks in here, I'm going to remove them because we need to salvage them for the chimney. Yeah, well, let's just get on with it. Yeah, let's do it. So, try and save them without breaking them. There's more. So underneath this one, they go down even further. So we're going to have more bricks than we anticipated, which is always good. That's very unusual. That's not a brick that I've ever seen before. That's huge. It's the depth of a brick, but it's maybe they did giant bricks years ago. Who knows? Could be anything in here because originally there was another chateau on this site before this one was built. And they demolished it and they buried it just behind the greenhouse here in the garden. So there could be all sorts of stuff that was salvaged years ago.
Way up there. Day one, afternoon one, and we are midway through the greenhouse and we've cleared a lot of the floor. We've got our level in, which is good. The only hurdle we've come up against, there used to be an old sink here. It was a concrete sink, very old fashioned, and it was all made and it's been dug into the ground with a bit of a footing. So Mick's broken it out with a hydraulic breaker and we're just digging out now. We're going to make a little reservoir or a sump pit so that Michael's got a drainage point for this area or this end of the greenhouse, and that's going to be slightly under the sink, which is going to be perfect. So it'll be out of sight, but it's going to be somewhere where the water can run and naturally get away. So we've got a little bit more drainage to up the other end, but for now we're going to get this hole dug and we've got a concrete, they call them a regard in France, which is basically a manhole shape, and we can put that in, and then what that means is when the concrete goes off level with the top, we've got a nice grate. Michael's going to have a nice old-fashioned grate that sits on top, and those lovely Tomette tiles are going to run up to it nicely, so it's going to be a good job. We'll clear all that, and then the last job we'll dig a pit.
Chinese?
Yeah.
Don't
Very
feel
bright.
that though.
Then some people, yeah.
Is it a bit high at the back?
Yeah.
So, can you explain what you're doing?
What we are doing is the next bit of making that sump for all the water or any surface water that we have in the greenhouse. It's because we said before it's going underneath the sink, so it's going to be out of sight, which is perfect. But now what we're doing is we're putting in that square bit of concrete and we're just leveling it up. And what we're going to do afterwards, once the concrete's all been poured and it all goes off nice and hard, we're going to come in, we're going to take out what we've got in the middle and then just dig down a little bit deeper, because we've got some lovely soil underneath, which is going to be a perfect natural percolation. So let's get on, get it level, and that's going to form the very top of where the concrete's going to go. And as I said before, Michael's going to put in those lovely tomettes, and that's going to meet up with the grate. So it's going to be a really good job. Let's do it.
Well, go on, what are your thoughts, Nick?
The thoughts of today are that we've made good progress.
Yes.
And we are now, as you can see, we're at the very end of the greenhouse. We've got a little bit where we had the ramp for the wheelbarrow to go in and out, where we've got to just take that off. And then we're ready to do the fine adjustments for the sub base for the concrete. So we've got, Michael wants just to the other side on the big wall, Michael wants to have his tomatoes or something along there, so we're going to do a bed all the way along there.
Yeah, but we're gonna leave some of the concrete out, so where the beds are, actually they will go right down into the soil below the concrete.
Yeah.
So actually they're free draining then, because there's no chance that they can get clogged up with water. And
No, and they can, if they really want to root deep, they'll
They can, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought what would be a nice idea is if they can go through to the soil, or put like a really nice grapevine in, and then grow it along the wall maybe
Yeah,
inside.
a nice, what's the name? Grape, dessert grape,
Yeah,
nice black ones.
yeah. Delicious, lovely. So good progress.
onwards and upwards till so the plan for tomorrow is do the little bit of clearing up there, and then we'll have a scratch about, get it ready, and we'll get the shuttering in, and then it's just a case of last preparations before we're going to put a membrane down, a plastic membrane underneath so no damp can come up through, and then we'll just leave enough of a lip on the concrete where Michael wants to put his border, so we're going to have a little raised flower bed along there, and I think we're having a sink above where the well is, or the sump, and then just to this side, where just behind where Mick is, there's going to be a nice Rayburn, so that should keep you toasty.
Yeah, be lovely. Right.
Make things grow, won't it?
Yeah, it will do. Make a cup of tea while we're in here.
Yeah.
Right.
So onwards and upwards.
Lovely. So thank you very much.
Yes. Well, thank you for watching.
Yeah, and until tomorrow, we'll see you later.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
So day 2 of the garden reno, and we are getting on really well. Mick and I are just putting in the shuttering, which is going to hold that lovely concrete in place, and we've got the border all set out where the flower bed's going to go, and then we've got a little return to do at the end. But as you can see, Mother Nature has intervened slightly, so it's been a bit wet and wild, but we are battling on through it. So let's get on, get this shuttering in, and then we can start making sure the floor is exactly where we want it. Absolutely divine. So the shuttering is in and it's a really good job. We've just put a little bit of the soil and we've backfilled it. It's going to provide a nice bit of support. We're getting Auto Nevo, which is auto self-leveling concrete. It's going to be mixed with the fibres and it's going to go down. But what we need to do now is we need to get the subfloor exactly level. And what we've done is now we've got the shuttering in, we've got a datum so we can see where that is, and we need the thickness of the concrete all over, but continuing round the greenhouse. And if Mother Nature holds off, we think it's going to dry up, so we'll wait probably until tomorrow morning where it's wet down the end where the tarpaulin is, and then we can do that bit, because we just don't want to start churning it up. We've already put a bit of sand down just so we could work in and out and we weren't transporting mud everywhere. So it's really good. Let's get on, get this floor level. Oh, he's done it. Yeah. So the covers are off and the sun is on its way, and things are feeling a lot more positive. We've got all the floor leveled out, and I reckon it's going to be some pretty nice flower beds when you've finished.
You've done a good job, Nick.
Thanks, mate.
And you're pretty good at presenting as well. I might as well just retire. I'll leave you. You can have my channel.
No. No.
You're doing it yourself.
No, yeah. We're doing it together.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. And yeah, Mick and I have put the border in, so we've got it all about right. But as you can see, there's a bit of standing water, and just behind us, it's slightly high. But we're going to leave it, and hopefully during the next few hours of sunshine, and by tomorrow.
Well, it's come out now. Look.
Yeah. And it'll be good, and then we've just got to cut that off, and then we're good to go for.
So what's the next stage? Line it with sort of.
Yeah, polythene. So a damp-proof membrane all the way over.
Yeah.
And then we'll get that self-leveling concrete.
Damp-proof membrane. You make it sound fancy. It's a big sheet of plastic.
In essence, yeah. So no, it's all good, and no, it's been.
Sheet of polythene.
Yeah. No, it's all been good. It's been a good job. I look forward to getting it to the next stage.
Well, yeah, you've done more in 2 days than I've done in a year. So, but when you're on your own, there's no motivation there, is there? But when you've got a team behind you, when you're doing it ourselves, not myself.
Yeah.
Things get cracking on, don't they? Oh.
But also the next bit is above us there is a lack of glazing at this end of the greenhouse, so we're going to try, if the weather holds off, while we're just doing a few bits in the inside, we're going to see if we can get these.
I've got the glass there, I've got the silicone, I've got the suction cups to pick the glass up. I just need someone to pass me the sheets while I'm up the ladder.
And there'll be plenty of.
So we've got the glass, the viewers paid for it. It's all there.
We'll get it in.
It's just waiting. All the front, all the top.
If the weather is fair, it's going to be in.
Right, yeah. So let's do it.
See you then. You know what you're going to say?
I don't even know
how I'm
going to stand.
What are you doing, Michael?
I'm trying to roll this up so I can get a bit of sun on it.
Yeah, but not for now.